Saturday Night, an uproarious account of the chaotic 90 minutes leading up to the first episode of Saturday Night Live, hits theaters nationwide on October 11 in a nod to the air date of the first episode of the comedy series on October 11, 1975, broadcast from NBC Studio 8H. The film release coincides with the show's 50th season, which kicked off just as the social movements of the 1960s were transforming every aspect of American life. The live comedy show was part of a revolution in television in the 1970s. But Saturday Night is more about recreating a feeling than recreating actual events. The goal is to make you feel what it feels like when you're on the ground in 8H moments before, how it feels like there's no possible way the show is going to make it to air because everything's happening so last second, says Saturday Night director Jason Reitman. They're still painting the sets, hemming the clothes and the wigs, all of that is happening right up until the last second. The filmmakers, Reitman also co-wrote the screenplay, with Gil Kenan, interviewed everyone they could find who was on set for the premiere, including SNL creator and showrunner Lorne Michaels, actors, writers, people in the art department, and even former NBC pages. And while the movie may be more about capturing the spirit of the night than the exact events, many viewers may walk away with some questions about a llama, a fire, and an aggressive censor. For a look at what parts of the movie were based on truth or fiction, Time talked to Reitman and James Andrew Miller, an author of Live from New York, the complete uncensored history of Saturday Night Live as told by its stars, writers, and guests. NBC was looking for something that could replace reruns of Johnny Carson's late-night TV show, and Carson, played in the movie by Jeff Witzke, was all for the SNL experiment. Lorne Michaels, Gabriel LaBelle, a Canadian TV writer, wanted to create a show for the generation that grew up with television, that represented their fashion sense, their tastes in music, their sense of humor. Reitman describes SNL as an orphanage for a variety of performers and writers of all styles. Case in point, the original cast was known as the not ready for prime time players, and included Dan Aykroyd, played by Dylan O'Brien, John Belushi, Matt Wood, Chevy Chase, Corey Michael Smith, Jane Curtin, Kim Matula, Gilda Radner, Ella Hunt, Garrett Morris, Lamorne Morris, and Lorraine Newman, Emily Fairn. Al Franken, Taylor Gray, one of the first SNL writers, recalls in Live from New York, "We wrote a perfect submission for Saturday Night Live, a package of things we'd like to see on TV, a news parody, commercial parody, and a couple sketches. Basically from that, we were hired." Yes, as seen in Saturday Night, Alan Zweibel, Josh Brenner, was discovered at a bar, though unlike in the movie it did not happen on the same night as the first show. Michaels hit up every kind of a nightclub looking for writers for SNL. According to Live from New York, Michaels went up to Zweibel at a bar and said, "You know, you're the worst comedian I've ever seen in my life." Zweibel said he wanted to have a wife and kids someday, but they'd starve if he didn't land a job soon. Michaels asked Zweibel if he could look at his notes, and they arranged to meet again to talk more. Zweibel went back to his home in Long Island that night and says he stayed up for 2 days straight typing up every good joke he ever came up with to present during his interview at the Plaza Hotel.